I got to tell you, didn't get much cardio in until I watched the Chiefs last night. That got my heart race going. What do you think of when you watch an offense operate like that against the number one scoring defense like they did on Sunday night, Chris?
Well, I think, this is the team that I counted them 603 days ago or whatever it was, Super Bowl. Patrick's been waiting to play this team and, waiting to have an offensive line to roll out when they do play this team. And, Shaq Barrett had talked about how they were going to have a big game on the edge and that sort of thing. Like, I don't know if that was the right thing to do. Patrick Mahomes seems like a grudge-holding guy, doesn't he? And a guy that could not wait to play Tom Brady again. I mean, obviously he loves and respects that guy, but nobody wants to win more than Patrick Mahomes. And to do it the way they did it, first off, you don't spot the Chiefs 7 points like that on special teams. So as soon as that happened, you felt pretty good about them dictating in terms of game. But they're able to run the ball. Edwards-Helaire is running hard. I think a little competition is good for him. And throwing the ball to a bunch of guys that, quite frankly, some of them you hadn't really heard of before this year. And Juju Smith-Schuster's doing a really good job. Travis Kelce's automatic. You saw that right away in the red zone. But a ton of targets that you just – and really for Brady too. Like a bunch of guys catching balls that you're like, who is this guy? The difference is it's just working a lot more seamlessly for the Chiefs and their guys up front, 1 through 5, playing real well. I mean, they've retooled pretty quickly. I mean, they lost a couple of their guys off that Super Bowl run and kind of had to reshuffle. There's a lot of new faces, but they're playing well up front.
Well, I mean, you look at all of the different people, as you mentioned, who did contribute for the Chiefs yesterday, and Isaiah Pacheco, their 7th round pick out of Rutgers, looking like Zeke Elliott sometimes. He was big.
Bill
and
Belichick's got to be pissed, man. He likes those Rutgers
I
guys.
know. He's calling up Shiano. He's like, how the hell did we miss this guy? And I'm sure he's using we. But when you put it all together, you're always attuned to the narrative that the Chiefs missed Tyreek Hill in the last 2 weeks. Supposedly were exhibits A and B about that, and then we see last night. So is this the Chiefs offense you think we're going to see more often than not the rest of the year, even getting better?
I don't want to overreact. I mean, just a week ago, they lost to the Colts. So, we do this through the first month of the season. We ride these ebbs and flows, and, week 1 they go out and just they dominate the Cards. And, people who are adept realize that that's not like a big deal by their standards. They have some dips in production over the next couple weeks, and then they look great last night. I think this is going to be a work in progress, but the top-end speed of this offense, and I mean that like metaphorically, like what they can get to as an offense and the type of points they can put up. When they're humming, their top-end speed is still the same. They just get to it a different way. And when you look at Tyreek, I mean, I think a big difference that he would make is you can get a lot of more jet sweeps, explosives in the run game. Those big explosive plays in the run game, honestly, I think ironically are what they've been missing a little bit without him. So, Andy Reid led a top 5 offense with Alex Smith. That's not a slight, against Alex Smith, who I really respect, but like he's not Patrick Mahomes. And we know what the problem is. We've had an entire offseason or part of an off season to diagnose it and make the situation better. So I think Andy Reid's plenty smart enough to do that.
So then on the flip side, your former Super Bowl teammate, Tommy, what do you think when he's waking up and he looks at the ceiling for the first time, other than wondering, what smoothie he's going to have for breakfast? Yeah. What do you think he's thinking this morning?
I don't think he's thinking like get me out of here, but I do think that the difference in what he had just 2 years ago in that game I talked about, and now is striking, the difference in the roster quality offensively. I mean, I know that we've talked about this. They've added some pieces, veteran pieces. You get Godwin back, that sort of thing, Gage, but it showed up again and again over these first couple games. Mike Evans can't do everything himself, and he's an incredible ball player. But, you got to have other guys that you can go to and who are going to be healthy, Julio was a great addition, but can Julio stay healthy? Gage was limping around last night a little bit. Godwin was limping around. I mean, he's coming off an ACL. We've talked about, Brate's a good player. They've still got tight ends that can get involved in the pass game, but you don't have Gronk and the middle of that offensive line, man. So, I mean, if you're Brady, I mean, you saw it on the Snead strip sack last night. He's on the sideline, and I'm reading his lips, and he's saying, and he's open, and we got this guy open. Like, it's just a frustrating time for him. I feel like in his competitive mind, he feels like we can still be great if we're perfect. And he likes to pursue that perfection, but it's going to be hard with this team, man. And, I had the underwin total on the Bucks, and I can't say that the struggles offensively surprised me. Defensively, though, they have to play better than that, because the only way that they're going to make a deep playoff run is going to be winning those games, 24-20, 27-24, something like that. Like, those are the types of ball games they're going to have to be in with these high-powered offenses. They can't let Patrick Mahomes kick the door down and expect to win a shootout.